According to Pew Research Center, 32 million Latino voters are going to be eligible to vote this November. And it is the first time that Latino eligible voters are outnumbering Black eligible voters. And that's why I'm here on Columbia Pike in Arlington in front of Café Sazón. It is a Bolivian immigrant owned and operated restaurant. And it's just one of 4 brews that I can see from right where I'm standing. And that's important because there are so many diverse perspectives in the Latino and Hispanic community that you can't consider it a monolith. So I sat down with them to hear what exactly they want from a presidential candidate. What is driving you guys to the polls? What are the main concerns that you have? What is the reason that you are voting this time?
Modernizing infrastructure, affordable housing for people that need it, restoring our immigration reform with a path to citizenship for 11 million DACA and TPS votes.
Up until recently, you hadn't decided exactly what you were going to do. Did his response to the pandemic, did the president's response to the pandemic at all impact your decision?
No, what really impacted my decision, I think, the number one reason why I care about voting this year is because of Black Lives Matter. I think I grew up in DC, also known as Chocolate City for a long time. I don't know, now it's mixed. But I feel that as a Latino, as an immigrant, we have a debt with the African American community. During the civil marches in the 1960s, they did a lot for immigrants. You know, in 1965, they passed a law in which this country could not discriminate based on your skin color, based on your religion or your background. And everything that has been happening with the African American community, I see it, and it's also happening within the Latino community. I feel the Latinos and the African Americans, we need to work together to make it better for African Americans, and at the same time work together to do immigration reform.
For me, the choice is clear. We can choose between hate and chaos and someone who cheats on their taxes and cheats on their spouses and puts kids in cages.
There's been a lot of talk if the Hispanic, if the Latino community comes together and votes together, that we'll see a change. But Hispanics and Latinos aren't a monolith. Not everybody thinks the exact same thing. How do you feel about the Latino vote and what that could mean for this presidential campaign?
Actually, we are going to decide this election. Fundamentally, we Latinas, actually, because we decide in our home, in our household, we are at the center of the family, and we indicate, take de la oreja and say, must go and vote because we need to protect our country.
We come from places where there are dictators.
Exactly.
We come from places where there's authoritarian regimes. We come from places where they might kill you if you vote. They might kill you if you make a demonstration. And we cannot have someone that is rising this division and hatred in the community, inciting fear in our community, this is unhealthy. We're not here against any group. We're here to be part of the American community together, white, black, brown, yellow, whatever you want to use, together, gay, straight, men, women. This is what the American dream is all about.
Well, Latinos in general, we have an entrepreneurial mindset. You know, my mom, my father, in my country, back home, they have to figure out how to start little businesses and all that, either baking goods or whatever, you know. So when we come here, we tend to work hard, save our money, and start businesses. I started my own business out of my own funding. I tried to get loans and all that, and I never really got it. And the loan that I got, it was very small. So to me, I feel that there need to be more investment, not only within the Latino, but the Black community too, in which we need to get banks that will lend us money. We need to get training to help us keep our business going, to teach the community.
And we see that in the numbers. Those businesses that are able to access COVID-19 relief, whether it's in Northern Virginia, in Richmond, in Hampton Roads, or any other part of the Commonwealth, those are predominantly not businesses of color.
So that means as Latinos, we need to be involved. We need to be part of the PTAs. We need to be part of the government. We need to demand positions in which we can make decisions and our voices can be heard.